2014.
The FRCN NTA Award Annual Service of 9 Lessons and Christmas Carols.
Making Christmas memorable for you.
This no government will now take us serious. For anybody who not just hold the motor, 50,000.
From the guy. Come from the Come 50,000. No.
Good evening. Security has always been a component of the education sector until recently, when it assumed a top position due to a strange phenomenon in the form of attacks on educational institutions by insurgents. Universities, colleges of education, and sadly even secondary schools have not been spared, while innocent teenagers are brutally murdered either in their sleep or in broad daylight. Students of tertiary institutions are also on the front line of murderous attacks. From the first attack in Mamudo, Yobe State, back in 2013, to the latest attack in Kwantagora within the week, the attacks have almost always taken citizens by surprise. The Safe Schools initiative was established in coalition with business leaders working with the United Nations Special Envoy for Education, Gordon Brown, and the Global Business Coalition for Education, in response to the growing number of attacks on the right to education, including the kidnapping of more than 200 girls in northern Nigeria. The initiative is expected to instill more confidence in parents and erase fears by school children to go to school, as well as rehabilitate and reconstruct damaged infrastructure. The resurgence of the attacks has brought to the front burner the imperative of the Safe Schools initiative. That is the focus of Weekend File tonight. I am Muhammad Kudo Abubakar, standing in for Kiran Umayo. First, the news. Nigeria's Super Eagles have resurrected the nation's hopes of qualifying for the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations with a 2-0 victory over Congo in Point Noro. And South Africa also in Group A with Nigeria have already booked their place in the competition. Henry Effiong has details.
The Super Eagles went into the crucial match against Congo, needing all 3 points to revive their qualification campaign. After a goalless first half, Eagles returnee Ike Uche got the opener from the spot when goal-bound Emmanuel Emenike was brought down in the box by the Congolese keeper 10 minutes after resumption of play.
Announcing his return to the international scene in the colors of Nigeria. Uche, in great goal scoring Nick Alton in La Liga. Uche puts Nigeria into the lead. And wow, makes the race for second spot even more interesting.
Skipper Vincent Eyama made sure Nigeria maintained the lead as he stopped a Congolese penalty on 64 minutes after a Nigerian player was adjudged to have handled the ball in the Eagles' penalty area. And with a minute left on the clock, Aaron Samuel netted Nigeria's second to set up a make-or-mar encounter against South Africa in Uyo on Wednesday. Things, however, got sour when the Congolese fans resorted to throwing objects at players on the pitch. With this victory, however, Nigeria will require an outright win in their last qualifier against South Africa, who have already qualified from the group as leaders, having beaten Sudan 2-1 earlier in the day. Analysts say the Super Eagles should keep a cool head going into the match, as the job is yet to be completed.
Our chances have been brightened. We needed to win this match. It was an all-important match, and we got it.
All Nigeria needs to do is to sit at home in Uyo, take the game very serious, and then hit the South Africans real hard.
For me, I would say congratulations to the team and the manager. They get the job done, and that's basically it.
South Africa are currently on 11 points, followed by Nigeria on 7 points, tied with Congo also on 7 points, but with inferior goals difference, while Sudan are placed fourth with 3 points. Henry Effiong, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Goodluck Jonathan has congratulated the Super Eagles on their victory over the Red Devils, which has revived Nigeria's hopes of qualifying for next year's African Nations Cup finals. In a statement by Senior Special Advisor to President on Media and Publicity, Dr. Ruben Abati, stated that the President Jonathan applauds the Super Eagles' courageous display in front of home crowd, which earned them the 2-0 victory, placing Nigeria in a good position once again for qualification to defend the African Nations Cup, which it currently holds at the next year's finals holding in Equatorial Guinea. President Jonathan joins other Nigerians in looking forward to seeing the team complete the task of qualifying to defend their title at the 2015 Nations Cup finals with victory against South Africa in Uyo next week. He assures the Super Eagles and their handlers that they will have the fullest possible support of the federal government and the people of Nigeria for that final qualification match. In the same vein, Senate President David Mark has commended the Super Eagles for keeping alive Nigeria's hope of participating in the 2015 African Cup of Nations by defeating Congo 2-0 in Port Nord. He noted that by doing the nation proud, in spite of the anxiety expressed by soccer-loving Nigerians, the national team has proved to be true African champions. Senator Mark, in a statement, however, charged the government of Congo and the Nigerian embassy to ensure the security and safety of Nigerian players and officials, judging by the unruly behavior of the Congolese fans. In other news, the Kano State Police Command has confirmed the death of 6 persons, including 3 police officers, in a bomb explosion at a petrol station in Hotoro area of the state capital. Commissioner of Police Aderenle Chinaba disclosed this when he led security personnel to the scene. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
The incident occurred Friday evening at a filling station along Maiduguri Road in Kano Metropolis. According to eyewitness account, the explosives were concealed in a Toyota Sienna car which was in the filling station to fuel. As the driver was about to fill his tank, the explosives went off, thereby killing him, 3 policemen and 2 other persons. Kano State Commissioner of Police Aderele Shinaba, who confirmed this, said 12 people also sustained various degrees of injuries.
We are lucky there are 2 petrol tankers here which will have gone up in flame, but the first line of action is to ensure that everybody remains vigilant. It is very important. That's what we've been preaching.
Mr. Shinaba called on people to continue to be vigilant and provide useful information to security agencies on suspicious persons. As at the time of this report, the injured victims of the blast are receiving treatment at the Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital in Kano. Abdullah Mustafa, NTA News.
Still on security issues, following the recent attack on the Federal College of Education, Kwantagora, the Niger State government has adopted new measures to curtail reoccurrence of the attacks in educational institutions across the state. The State Commissioner for Education, Aladi Umar Abdul Hamid, stated this after receiving reports of possible security breach in 2 secondary schools in Mina. Dawda Mohammed has the report.
Recent happenings and stories alleging discovery of males dressing up as female students, as well as the most recent story alleging the discovery of a student claiming to have been paid by insurgents to plant explosive device in one of the secondary schools in Mina, has prompted the authorities to take proactive measures.
We want to assure the members of the public, the teachers, that they should not get themselves panic unnecessarily.
DSP Gambari called on members of the public to be security conscious at all times. Commissioner for Education, Danladi Umar Abdulhamid, said the present administration in the state has instituted stringent security measures to curtail the reoccurrence of the incident that happened in Kontagora, adding that all public schools in the state will soon be fenced.
Visiting days to our schools suspended. Assemblies suspended. All forms of congregations suspended. All our students are going to have ID card to be controlled centrally.
The Commissioner for Education also called on private schools operating in the state to cooperate with the ministry to ensure the protection of lives and property. In Mina, Dawda Mohammed, NTA News.
Governor Gabriel Suswan's convoy was on Friday involved in a road accident along Makudi Boko Road. The governor was traveling with his deputy, Chief Stephen Lawani, to Boko local government area for a road flag-off ceremony. Achigili Magaji has details.
The incident occurred when a red Toyota Carina 2 car veered off its lane and rammed into the security vehicle just before the governor's car. The security vehicle in the process skidded off the road and landed in a ditch. The Toyota car had its entire engine ripped off, while the governor's vehicle sustained severe damage. Though no life was lost in the incident, those who sustained various degrees of injuries were taken to the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, Makurdi. The governor and his deputy, who supervised the evacuation of the affected persons, said he gives God the glory that no one died in the incident.
What I saw, I can't explain it because, for somebody who is coming in the opposite direction to have turned and hit directly on the car that was next to mine and part of my own car, I'll just say that it's an accident. We thank God that there's no death recorded.
He was still able to proceed to other functions in Boko local government area. As at the time of filing this report, most of the injured have been treated and discharged from the hospital. In Makurdi, Achigilimagaji, NTA News.
Well, the International Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Crash Victims is celebrated the world over every November. This year's remembrance in Nigeria had the Federal Road Safety Commission and other stakeholders joining in the commemoration. They reiterated commitments towards reducing mishaps on Nigerian roads. Correspondent Ayodeji Makinde has more.
Scenes like this or this are common but avoidable incidents on Nigerian roads. The impact it has left on the economic and socio-cultural life of the country has been a cause for concern. Towards this end, the Federal Road Safety Commission and other stakeholders joined the rest of the world in commemorating the 2014 World Day of Remembrance for road traffic crash victims in Abuja with a walk and run at the National Stadium. Speed kills was the theme of this year's Remembrance Day as the United Nations, through the World Health Organization, continue in their quest to reduce accidents on Nigerian roads.
If we stay within a speed limit, even if there's for any reason there's a crash, the tendency to survive is higher.
If there is any accident on the road, once you call the road safety, they respond immediately.
Corps Marshal of the Commission, Boboye Oyeyemi, believes their adoption of sporting activities is one of the Commission's enlightenment tools, has drastically reduced road mishaps in the country.
Gospel according to Central Safety is 1, thou shalt reduce your speed. The second commandment, thou shalt fasten your seatbelt. The third commandment, thou shalt not use phone while driving. The fourth commandment, don't drink and while driving.
According to the WHO Global Status Report of 2013, over 1 million people die annually in road accidents, with Africa having the highest percentage. Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
The sale of nomination forms for various elected positions ahead of the 2015 elections by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has ended. The National Organizing Secretary of the PDP, Alhaji Abubakar Mustafa, says the party is ready and preparing for the primaries. Political correspondent Femi Johnson reports that PDP now has 2 presidential aspirants, with the submission of presidential nomination form by presidential aspirant Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa. His report.
Dr. Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa, while submitting his presidential nomination, an expression of interest form says the common man and less privileged are his priorities. When asked if he knows the implication of facing an endorsed aspirant like President Goodluck Jonathan, Dr. Jalil reacts.
I have never lost anything in my life. I don't intend to start there. I will win the primaries.
So in trying to get support, as usual, please do it rank-free. Do it with the least acrimony.
Others who submitted their gubernatorial nomination and expression of interest forms are Bello Sani Guazo from Kano State, Sonny Ndabawa, also of Kano State, and Dr. Okeze Ekweazu of Abia State.
My expectations from PDP primaries are fairness and justice.
If given the chance, I will want to replicate what I've done in the private sector.
We have accepted to run for this ticket as a candidate of hope.
The gubernatorial primaries of People's Democratic Party holds on the 29th of this month in Abuja. Femi Johnson, NTA News.
Some ex-militants in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria, under the auspices of Peace and Cultural Development Initiative, have commended President Goodluck Jonathan for accepting the call by Nigerians to run for a second term in office. They made this known during a solidarity rally in support of Dr. Goodluck Jonathan's presidential bid in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Mia Ogedi has the report.
After careful appraisal of the Jonathan's administration for the past 4 years, they have passed a vote of confidence on him and resolved to support the second-term bid.
Nigerians know that he is staying with the greatest of experience.
This is the best gift we ever had. To ensure victory for the president in the 2015 race, the group Peace and Cultural Development Initiative is currently embarking on a region-wide rally in all the states in the Niger Delta, starting from Uyo, Akwa Ibom State.
We are ready to begin 2015.
The Peace and Cultural Development Initiative region-wide rally continues in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. In Abuja, Mia Ogede, NTA News.
Aspirants from the governorship ticket of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State have been advised to seek the people's mandate rather than campaigning for endorsement. Former Minister of State for Education Nyesom Wike stated this at a PDP rally in Abua Odna local government area of Rivers State. The report.
Activities in Abua Odwa local government area stood still as hundreds of thousands of PDP supporters and sympathizers converged on the Abua Central School field to declare their support for the candidature of Chief Nyesom Wike as governor of Rivers State and President Goodluck Jonathan for the 2015 general elections. Chief Nyesom Wike assured them that if given the mandate, he would change the face of Abua Odwa.
They'll say Wike will not run. It's not what I've been saying. Tell them that Wike will run an election.
He has, the capacity and ability to take on as a grassroots person.
You don't get endorsement, you go to the field and talk to the people who vote. That's the right thing to do.
The visit also featured the commissioning of Chief Nyesom Wike campaign office and the presentation of about 150 motorcycles as empowerment to some families. A number of APC members in the area also declared for the PDP. From Abua Central in Rivers State, Dagogo Isaac, NTA News.
Still on politics, women's participation in Nigerian politics was the subject matter of a discussion at a seminar in the British House of Commons to create more awareness on the importance of gender equality in politics and to change public perceptions. From London, Hawa Yusuf Huntua reports that the Special Advisor to the President on Ethics and Values, Mrs. Sarah Jibril, was the special guest of honor at the occasion.
Organized by the PDP UK chapter, the one-day seminar titled Democracy and Women in Politics attracted participants from a cross-section of the Nigerian community and some members of parliament who made various submissions on the subject matter. Special Advisor to the President on Ethics and Values noted the goodwill and consciousness of President Jonathan for supporting women participation in politics.
The women who wish to be in politics certainly cannot be self-centered.
Although the seminar was aimed at advocating for increased support for women participation in politics in Nigeria, speakers were unanimous in their resolve to stage a mock voting in 2015 to drive home their point in civic responsibility.
We need to bring back home this knowledge, this expertise, and it starts from being able to vote, to choose our leader.
A lot of things are obstacles against us in this Western world. If we can come here and succeed and be part of a voice, I think in Nigeria, where we are one, they can be able to do more than that.
From London, Hawa Yusuf Funtua, NTA.
The current concept of open and distance learning as operated by the National Teachers Institute has been described as a catalyst in the eradication of illiteracy and breeding of qualitative professional teachers in Nigeria. Vice President of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Vincent Ado Tenebe, disclosed this while delivering a paper at the third NTI Convocation Lecture in Kaduna. The report.
Professor of Agronomy emphasized the need to strengthen institutions like the NTI that operate the open and distance learning program in Nigeria. Professor Vincent Ado Tenebe examined the development of open and distance learning and the integration of competency skills in Nigeria's teacher education curriculum.
There is no nation in the world that can develop above the teachers. It is the quality of the teacher that brings about development.
Aminu Ladan Sharihu described the open and distance learning program as
the process of education where the teacher is separated from the learner, but the separation is actually bridged by the application of the information and communication technology as well as print material.
Its governing council chairman, Ali Sahad Brinikudu, reminded state governments of NTI's ability to provide the development, upgrading and certification of teachers was further stressed. It was later time to unwind. The education managers rounded off the evening with a dinner. Certificates were later presented to deserving staff and NTI's Director General for outstanding contributions to the institute's work.
Away from education, First Lady then Patience Jonathan has congratulated Governor Gabriel Suswan of Benue State on his 50th birthday. The First Lady noted with satisfaction the steady progress in Governor Suswan's efforts to improve the lives of the people of Benue State. While wishing him more fruitful years, then Patience Jonathan urged him not to relent in his service to the people of Benue State and Nigerians in general. The First Lady also sympathized with the Governor Suswan over the accident involving him and his Deputy Governor, Stephen Lawani. First Lady then Patience Jonathan has also condoled the family of former Governor of Bayelsa State, Chief Depre Alamasia, over the death of his son, Oyamufuyefa. Then Patience Jonathan was received by his wife, Margaret, and other members of the family. She prayed God to give them the grace to bear the loss. Responding on behalf of the family, Mr. Frank Amekume appreciated the First Lady for the visit and her words of consolation. Prayers were offered for the repose of the soul of the deceased. As we speak, the Niger State government, where the latest attack took place in Kwantagora, has banned schools' assemblies. Kano State government, too, has banned the use of school bags by pupils and students, all in a bid to prevent attacks on schools and the students. We will have a close look and a thorough examination of these issues after this break.
Form the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Professor. My former students. Happy birthday
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN. MTN, everywhere you go.
Chi Happy Hour, burst of refreshment. Available in peach, tropical fruit, apple peach pear, kiwi mint lime, and guava. Chi Happy Hour, burst of refreshment.
House of Chi.
Want your bathroom to dazzle? Give your toilet the hypo treatment to brighten and also kill germs so your bathroom stays disinfected and squeaky clean.
Sheyi Makinde, stimulating attitudinal changes and initiating radical thinking. Sheyi Makinde, the man of his words, an achiever per excellence, imbibing public confidence and enlist mass participation in governance. Sheyi Makinde, a philanthropist, driving a collective vision of a people of Oyo State in a unique way. Sheyi Makinde, a man of the people and a silent achiever. Sheyi Makinde can be trusted to do more.
We will change the future of our state for the better.
Sheyi Makinde, the man for change.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved. Johnny M2, 28 days standby time. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
When I thirsty. It tasting good, it tasting good. Hollandia, yogurt breakdown. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. Hollandia, yogurt breakdown. When I'm hungry, when I'm thirsty. Oh, yeah, yo.
Hollandia yogurt, available in strawberry, plain, and pineapple coconut.
I need a great deal, the best price I can get. That's why I shop on Jumia. Quality you can trust, you can count on us. Shopping easier. Fashion delivery. When you shop on Jumia, when the rain or shine.
Get this Benetton fan at an amazing price of 5,490 Naira at jumia.com.ng. Jumia, the online shop you can trust.
The Chairman, Board of Directors of the Nigerian Television Authority, Dr. Patrick Ogbu, heartily congratulates the Governor of Benue State, Dr. Gabriel Suswam, as he clocks 50. As you celebrate, we join you in thanksgiving for 50 years well spent in the development of not only yourself, your family, but also Benue and Nigeria at large. May God grant you many more years of active contribution to the development of Benue and Nigeria. Once again, congratulations and many happy returns. Signed, Dr. Patrick Ogbu, Board Chairman, NTA.
The increasing spate of terrorist attacks in some schools in the north has become an issue of serious concern across the country. From the abduction of Chibok schoolgirls to the recent suicide bombings in schools to the incessant attacks on other educational institutions, the situation is becoming the norm. In this background report, Franca Uzomaolua examines Nigeria's defining strategy to build confidence in schools through the Safe Schools initiative.
In recent times, schools in the northern part of the country have become targets of insurgent attacks. Few days ago, more than 50 students of Senior Science Secondary School in Potiskum, Yobe State, lost their lives in a suicide bomb attack. Many others sustained injury. The attack is said to be the fifth in Yobe schools in the last 1 year. 2 days after the Yobe incident, two persons, a student and a beggar, sustained injuries after a suspected female suicide bomber blew herself up at the Federal College of Education, Kontagora, Niger State. The abduction of more than 200 girls from Chibok Secondary School in Borno State in April this year led to the inauguration of a steering committee on Safe School Initiative. The objective is to ensure that young people are not only safe in going to school, but also provide an opportunity ripe for learning and development without fear.
I found that in all the schools, I will not spare anyone, that hardly you can see 3 hefty or young security men running the affairs of security in our schools. Government always go for elderly ones, for them to take care of security in our schools.
Just recently, the committee announced that 2,400 students from the 3 emergency states of Borno, Yobe and Adamawa have been identified and ready to be redeployed to 30 pilot federal government colleges across the federation.
It is a purely voluntary program. Parents who have said that they would like their children from JSS 1 and above to SS3 to go to schools, unity schools in other parts of the country, north and elsewhere, have made themselves known. We have identified 800 students per state.
Scholarship has been awarded to the students with payment of stipend to their parents.
Recently, we have had another course to transfer some of our people from Adamawa State, those that are around Goza, Askirauba, and other local government around the Adamawa State boundary. So they have moved down to Borno. So we need additional facilities in those schools so that the IDPs will be in those new camps, so that the schools can take off again, so that our students can go back to schools.
We're starting out with the psychosocial support to the students they are coming to meet before they come. And we've actually done part of the work, and the students are very receptive.
Meanwhile, the international community and development partners have also lent their support to cater for the needs of children who are displaced in camps.
We are supporting the cost of this. I think for the 2,400 students, the initial cost the first year will be about 435 million naira. And then we are going to cost every year, what it will take until these students finish school. And following that, we are attending to the children in those camps to make sure that whilst they are there, they also are able to go to school.
In the face of intimidation and threats to education, many Nigerians believe that adequate security measures for schools in Nigeria are long overdue in order to make education a reality for all Nigerian children. In Abuja, Franca Uzoma Olua, NTA News.
As we discuss the Safe Schools initiative across the country, public schools in Borno State are to reopen soon after several months of closure. What is of concern to many, however, is the security of students and teachers who have fallen victims of Boko Haram attacks. Naomi Abuaku examined the Safe Schools initiative in Borno and Yobe State in this report.
It's been 8 months now that primary and secondary schools in Borno State have been closed due to insurgency that claimed the lives of over 147 teachers and the abduction of over 200 female students from Chibok. The insurgents also burnt 171 schools and partially destroyed more than 100 others in Borno State since 2009 when the uprising began. While public primary and secondary schools remain shut and have become home to hundreds of thousands displaced persons, but with hope of reopening in the 3rd week of November, private schools have since resumed academic activities.
We cannot afford to continue closing down schools. The advantage we have made sure most of our schools have perimeter fencing. At the same time, our civilian JTF have been mobilized to patrol the areas. We are not taking any chances for any abnormal situation to happen.
Private schools have taken measures to safeguard lives and property of students and teachers in line with the objective of the Safe School Initiative. These include intensive stop and search at the gate, provision of parking space away from the entrance, prohibition of hawking within school premises, and concrete arrangement for parents to pick their children from school.
Policies and programs of government should be harmonized so that they are working in consonance. One policy is working in consonance with the other.
Under the Safe School Initiative project, only 8 out of 171 burnt schools have been assessed for reconstruction and equipping. School inbox will be introduced alongside double shift schooling for internally displaced persons camps. 800 students from the affected schools are to be deployed to 45 federal unity colleges to ensure they realize their educational objectives, as modalities have since been put in place for their transfer.
Colleagues, teachers, to be very vigilant, to be very active, proactive in whatsoever they are doing.
From Yobe State, Mustafa Yusuf Musa reports that in the last 16 months, a total of 186 students were killed in separate attacks on 4 secondary schools and a college of agriculture. These include the 49 students killed at Government Science Technical College, Potiskum, on 10th November 2014, when a suicide bomber struck when the students converged for assembly. Hundreds of students from the 5 institutions of learning were also injured in the attacks. This series of unpleasant events in the last 1 year led to the long period of closure of schools in Yobe State, leading to the transfer of students to federal unity colleges under the Safe School Initiative program. Despite efforts to ensure security of students at boarding and day schools, the killings continue, leading to another closure of all schools within Yobe State. In Maiduguri, Naomi Aboku, NTA News.
The Safe Schools Initiative involves both visible and non-visible strategies for protection of lives and property in schools. The initiative is being implemented in Gombe State to give further assurance of safe teaching and learning environment. In this report, Usman Aliyu tells us how the Safe Schools Initiative is working in Gombe State.
Government here spends more than 13 billion naira under a turnaround program to reclaim schools from a poor state they have been over the years. Recently, schools in Gombe State were abruptly closed for 3 days. This time, it is a security measure by government to ensuring safe and secure teaching and learning environment. Recent attack by insurgents in Nafada local government, a border town with Yobe State, necessitated the measure. Boarding schools in the area were protected through an emergency relocation of students and teachers. Safe School Initiative involves surveillance, provision of physical and non-visible structures to ensure maximum safety of schools from activities of insurgents, which is always frantically unexpected.
You should ensure that the school is fenced. Secondly, you should know that the gates leading into the school and outside the school are well manned. Thirdly, you should ensure that security personnel that you employ are well trained and professionals. Fourthly, the school rules and regulations are also made in such a way that they are corrective.
Already, you can see that we have stopped the bus services that we render to the students. Initially, we used to render bus services to students at very highly subsidized cost, 5 naira from roundabout to FCE Gombe per student. But the fact that you see how they crowd at the roundabout and around the Emir's Palace, we felt that would be a very dangerous thing to continue.
For now, heavy investment in schools through provision of much needed critical infrastructure need fortification to achieve the planned target of better future. Most of the schools in Gombe State have complied with the stringent measures to provide safe environment, but only some additional strategies are needed, like no parking order near schools. In Gombe, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Weekend File. Stay with us for a live discussion on the issues raised with respect to the implementation of the Safe Schools Initiative across the country after these messages.
This funk, something needs to happen right now.
Come on to Tapel, one day go, Mr. Flavor, hey. Come on to Tapel, one day go, Mr. Flavor, hey.
Glow Collar Tunes. To get Wake Up by Flavor featuring One Day Code, text 300 to 7728. New and exclusive on Glow Collar Tunes. Tune costs 50 naira only.
Glow Unlimited. Africa. Some see it as a land of challenges. We see it as a land of endless opportunities, where success comes from hard work and determination, and having a strong partner. Boxer, engineered to be stronger, engineered to last longer. Because to make it in Africa, you need to be stronger for longer. Boxer, made stronger to last longer.
Chivita Active Fruit Juice. Unique quality blend of 6 citrus fruit juices with added vitamin C. It's the perfect choice of refreshment for an active lifestyle.
Want to dance?
Chivita Active. Be active. Do more. Get more out of life.
House of Cheese.
I need a great deal, the best price I can get. That's why I shop on Jumia. Quality you can trust. You can count on us. Shopping easier. Cash on delivery. When you shop on Jumia. When the rain or shine.
Get the new LG L60i with front and back camera for only 14,500 naira at jumia.com.ng. Jumia, the online shop you can trust. Wow, what a great beach. Look, other kids have also discovered it. Who owns this place? A Capri check. Put the straw in and let the tasty Capri Sun decide. And now the beach belongs to everyone. My kids are explorers. They love Capri Sun. Capri Sun provides them great taste, lots of energy and fun. Now, new exciting tropical flavor is also available for even more fun. Capri Sun, naturally fun. House of Cheese.
That's the way. That's the way.
You like it?
That's the way.
I like it.
That's the way. I like it.
Enjoy Hollandia evaporated milk. It's tasty, creamy, and nourishing.
Do you know that you are exposed to up to 100 illness-causing germs every day?
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on my Dettol to fight germs. It's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. My Dettol disinfects surfaces and clothes, keeping them clean and safe from germs.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
Welcome back. Weekend File tonight has been examining the issue of security in schools following repeated attacks by insurgents. I'm now joined in the studio by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the Adamawa State Governor, Professor George Poaveno Moses, who will shed more light on the issues. Professor Moses, welcome to NTA Network News Studios.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
to begin with, what will you say is the security situation now in Adamawa State?
Well, you know, of recent, Adamawa State as well as a few other states have been on the news. Especially when you talk about Mubi, Meha, and of recent you're talking about Hong, Gombe, and Song. The security situation has been, we met some gains in Mubi and Meha where the insurgents were driven out, and on their way running out, we understand they came into Hong, and this evening we received report that they were moving towards Song. But again, the reports are really very conflicting because some said they only came to Hong and came to Gombe, and they saw some soldiers probably moving, and so they assumed that they had entered into Song. But the report we're having is that they probably didn't get into Song.
So you mentioned the towns that the insurgents have attacked. How many schools will you say have been affected now by the attacks?
Well, these are a few towns I mentioned. We're talking about Madagali from the northern part of Adamawa, coming down to Gulak, Uba, Mararaba, Mubi, Meha, and what have you. We have probably, you're talking about a number of schools in those towns. I cannot list the number of schools right now, but quite a number of schools. Each town you could probably have 5, 6 schools, so I can't really tell you the figures.
But you can tell us what measures you have done or you have taken now to contain the situation.
Well, really, when you talk about containing the situation, any town the insurgents are overrun, you cannot talk about containing, because people run away from such towns, and you cannot really talk about safe school when the towns are under the control of the insurgents. It's only in places where they have not come in that we are trying to see how we can provide safety. That's the only way we can do that. But to talk about safe schools when the insurgents have overrun a town really is a misnomer.
So tell us the implementation of the Safe Schools Initiative in Adamawa then.
Well, as you're all well aware, about 800 of our students have been transferred to federal unity schools. And this was done with the consent of their parents, whereby they are provided with full scholarship, transportation, talk about room and board and feeding and all those kinds of stuff. And even their parents, through the Safe School Initiative, the parents are also provided transportation allowance to be able to visit their children and to encourage them.
What are you doing about the vulnerability of most of the schools that we are told right now don't have perimeter fences, and even the security personnel that man those schools, we understand, are elderly and weak?
Well, really, this is what Safe School Initiative is all about. It's about providing security for such schools, building perimeter fencing. Instead of all people who are employed as security personnel, they are talking about providing police, soldiers, and what have you to provide security in such schools. Again, you're talking about lighting, because many of the schools, of course, you know, don't have electricity and don't have light. But Safe School Initiative is looking at even providing things like CCTVs, whereby they can monitor what is happening around the school.
Well, the issue of internally displaced persons, I mean, because as you've told us, most of the towns that the insurgents have attacked, the people run away. So what are you doing about the internally displaced persons, particularly even the school's children who are also among the internally displaced persons?
Yes, one of the things the Safe School Initiative really is doing is to ensure that the camps, the IDP camps, are provided with schools. For example, the IDP camp at the NYC orientation camp in Yola has shifts of school, whereby you also know that a number of the teachers also are IDPs. So some of them and volunteers have presented themselves to teach in those camps. So basically, really, every effort is being made by government to ensure that these children do not miss out in school, and they are provided every opportunity to continue with their classes.
Professor George Favano Moses, Deputy Chief of Staff to the Adamawa State Governor, thank you so much for coming to NTA Network News Studios and shedding light on this initiative in Adamawa State. We may have to leave it there until some other time. And we now pause for more messages. Don't go away.
The National Teachers Institute cordially invites stakeholders to the flag-off ceremony of the 2014 MDG's Capacity Building Training Workshops for teachers in the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT.
Special guest of honor, Malam Ibrahim Shekaro, Minister for Education.
Chairman of the occasion, Professor Viola Onliri, Minister of State for Education.
Special guests, Barrister Alisa Adbenin Kudu, Chairman, NTA Governing Council, and Dr. Precious Benoya, Senior Special Assistant to the President on MDGs.
Chief host, His Excellency Alhaji Sulalamido, Executive Governor of Jigawa State.
Flag of date, Monday, 17th of November 2014.
Venue, Manpower Development Institute, Dutse, Jigawa State.
Time, 10:30 a.m. prompt.
First phase of the workshop in the Northwest, Southwest, and Southeast. Date from 17th to 22nd of November 2014.
While the second phase in the Northeast, North Central, and South. Date from 15th to 20th of December 2014. Announcer, Dr. Aminullah Sherehu, DG and Chief Executive, NTI.
The FRCN, NTA and VON annual service of 9 lessons in Christmas carols is here again.
The program, which started over 10 years ago in Abuja as a local carol night, has grown into a national affair.
It's an exhibition of classical and Nigerian Christmas songs and carols,
featuring spirit-lifting renditions and inspiring messages in celebration of the living Christ.
Celebrated groups like the Last Ekweme Choral Group will be there.
Theme, celebrating the Prince of Peace.
Venue, National Christian Center, Abuja.
Date, Sunday, 14th December 2014.
Time, 3 p.m.
Message giver, Senior Pastor, Dunamis International Gospel Center, Dr. Paul Enenche.
For sponsorship details, call 0803-303-7678
0803-704-3300
or 0802-722-2869.
Coming live on Radio Nigeria, NTA and Voice of Nigeria, Sunday, December 14, 2014.
The FRCN, NTA and VON annual service of 9 lessons and Christmas carols.
Making Christmas memorable for you.
Know that you are exposed to up to 100 illness-causing germs every day?
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on my Dettol to fight germs. It's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. My Dettol disinfects surfaces and clothes, keeping them clean and safe from germs.
Wow, what a great beach! Look, other kids have also discovered it. Who owns this place? A Capri check. Put a straw in and let the tasty Capri Sun decide. And now the beach belongs to everyone. My kids are explorers. They love Capri Sun. Capri Sun provides them great taste, lots of energy and fun. Now, new exciting tropical flavor is also available for even more fun. Capri Sun, naturally fun. House of Cheese.
Now a quick check on the weather prospects across the country. It is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security Service. That's Weekend File tonight. I'm Muhammad Kuda Bakar saying thank you for watching. Good night.